the business of your dreams and everything you need to know about that. So if you're ready to go, if you're excited about that, guys, do me a favor, smash that like button, hit that like button, subscribe, and we're going to break it down. We got a special Monday live today because just that's how basically the process, the curriculum of the 30-day challenge basically went. We're going live today was the best for me, my time schedule and everything like that. So we're breaking it down, guys. I'm really excited. So let's break down the hottest markets for wholesaling real estate and exactly how you can do it today. So without further ado, let's get it going. Quick disclosure, guys. Always put my disclosure on here. I'm not a lawyer, realtor, financial advisor, CPA, seek legal professional advice before doing anything, especially real estate, right? Whatever. Okay. I'll put some legitimacy to that. So fine, do it. So today I'm going to break down exactly how to find the hottest real estate wholesaling markets. We're going to basically find the markets you should be going after, the best ones for wholesaling real estate and for virtual wholesaling, and which ones you should be going after, the ones that are going to be the best results in real estate, and exactly overall how to find the best market. Because I know this is a big question I always get. I love wholesaling real estate. I want to get into it. I'm in the quote unquote danger zone. I don't know which one to be going after. And Zach, I need some help. And this is the perfect video for you. I'm really excited. And hey, if you were trying to find a perfect virtual wholesaling market, this is going to be another really good one for you guys too, because a lot of people have a lot of questions. And this is probably going to answer a lot of them. I'm going to get a lot of trouble for this video, like always, but I think it's worth the trouble and get into in this video just because I can help the people out and show you exactly everything you need to know. So here's the biggest question, what makes a good wholesaling market, right? It comes down to two factors: deals to wholesalers ratio and what I call the teenage success factor. And not very conventional, the way I name this or the way it works, but there's a method to my madness, I promise you. So let's break down the two methods of what makes a good wholesaling market. The number one, the one I've talked about the most, is the deals to wholesalers ratio. So that's basically how many deals there are in a real estate wholesaling market versus how saturated the market is. And then you got that teenage success factor. So let me sort of explain both of them and show you examples for it. So for example, deals to wholesaler ratio, right? You got, let's say Miami. Okay. Miami has a lot of real estate wholesaling deals because it's a big city, right? The problem is there's a ton of wholesalers, and relatively, like if you look at, let's do Atlanta versus Miami, right? Atlanta has less real estate wholesaling deals. Straight up, less real estate wholesaling deals. But actually, no, I'm doing the math here. No, Atlanta. Okay, so you look at Miami and Atlanta. Sorry, I'm thinking of this the other way. Miami has a bigger population, but less wholesaling deals because the ARV is so high. So that's the interesting part. So technically, Miami and Atlanta are pretty even on the amount of wholesaling deals there are. They're pretty even, but the problem is Atlanta has a lower population, so there's a lot less wholesalers in that market. The problem is ARV is so high in Miami, there's less deals, and there's still deals, but it's not insane. So that's why Atlanta's actually a decent real estate wholesaling market, is because there's a lot of deals, there's a lot of wholesalers, but there's enough deals where those wholesalers are fine. In Miami, there's a lot of wholesalers, but there's not a lot of deals out there. And of course there's deals, there's huge ones, but not a ton, And let's say I go to, for example, like Detroit, huge population, huge, insane amount of wholesaling deals because the ARV is lower. And really, it really talks about ARV to a point. If ARV is lower, there's usually more wholesaling deals. More people are willing to sell for a discount on a distressed asset when there's a lower ARV versus if, we're talking about over 5, 6, 7, 100,000. So Atlanta versus Miami's a lot bigger, the metro. The problem is the ARV is so much higher in Miami that there's less deals. So same population, but there's less, the ARV is a lot lower in Atlanta, Sandy Springs, like that type of area. That's why it's going to be a better market, right? I mean, there's same amount of wholesalers, just more deals, right? For example, let's go to, let me think of like a smaller market like Fresno, California. There's an insane, because Fresno is really low ARV for the state, insane amount of deals. A decent amount of wholesalers, not a ton. So that ratio works really well. And the best ones are the ones that no one talks about. Influencers push a lot of markets, and that causes a lot of issues. And that's a big one you guys got to understand is it causes a lot of issues when, for example, I tell everyone to go after, I'm going to say it, like Dayton, Ohio. No one needs to talk about Dayton, Ohio. Ton of deals, barely any wholesalers. And that worked so well, guys. Now there's markets like that. I'm going to show you how to find that market for you, but you just got to understand that that's sort of a thing that's true, right? And the next part's the teenage success factor. In my opinion, if you can find someone just bragging about like this weird one-off market and they're a teenager and they start out, they're really not good at talking to sellers. They're frankly just pretty bad at wholesaling, but they're going after here and they got no, I'm not calling them bad, but they have zero experience in wholesaling and they're doing really successful and they don't really have too much good experience. Now, a lot of people can do that, but the thing is, if someone who's got decent experience or like decent skill set goes into something, it's like playing video games on easy mode, and that's the truth. So there's different pockets in the country that are like that. So if I can be in a market where, let's say I live in Atlanta and I can make 100K a year there, that's my skill set, make 100K in Atlanta, right? If I go to like this weird market in like Western Arkansas that like these kids from Brooklyn are making a ton of money and they just started like a month ago, they're making $30,000 checks. If I put my efforts into that, I could be probably making 500K. And that's just because right. So that's the way I sort of look at it. You see like people brand new, not doing well. If it's a good market, it doesn't matter if you're a bad wholesaler per se, you can actually do pretty decent. And that's what I've seen. For example, I've done virtual wholesaling in like Detroit, and I've done virtual wholesaling in like a harder market, like Stockton. My wholesaling skills aren't different, right? My skills aren't different. Skills are the same. I get different results though. So this was something I did when I did like Detroit versus Greenville, South Carolina. Like I did way better in Detroit because ARVs were lower, and that was a better market for me. Same thing when I did Nashville and I did Knoxville, Tennessee. Like both of those cities. Same marketing, same type of lists, everything like that when I was starting out in wholesaling. Here's something really weird. And this is something that changes a lot of people's perspectives on stuff, but this is really cool. But I did so much better in Knoxville. I probably 5x my results in Knoxville than I did in Nashville just because the sellers were easier, the ARVs were lower, and I just did better. So it's not because I was a worse or better wholesaler. It's just, the ratio is a little different there. And ARV has a thing. It's not a perfect science, but that's the way I do it. And how did I find Knoxville? A ton of 18, 19-year-olds were bragging about doing deals in Knoxville when I was like 18, 19 years old on these big groups. And I'm like, whoa. And here's the cool part. I just marketed that and I did way better than them. And that's how I do it. And that's how you should be doing it. So everyone asks here, what about Texas? Guys, Texas is amazing. I'm going to show you how you can figure out. Actually, I have a, for my Texas people, let me show you. This is pretty cool. I didn't even know people are going to keep calling Texas. Let's use Texas, for example, right? Texas, Houston, let's go Houston, Texas. Huge. Harris County is massive. Top 5 counties in the United States, I'm pretty sure. Top 10 at least, okay? Houston is massive. I think the top 4 or 5 cities, like by population in the country. And so a lot of people in Houston, we got Kenny in the house, right? He's commenting, right? Here's the thing. Houston's got a ton of deals. Huge market. And let me pop up, like, I'm not going to pop it up, but like you have cities like San Diego that are similar to Houston. So let me figure this out. What's San Diego's population? San Diego's population is 1.4. And then what is Houston's population? Houston's population is 2.3. Okay, even bigger. Actually, let's do Austin. Houston is twice the size of Austin. Okay, so that's one thing you got to understand. Houston's twice the size of Austin. Why is Houston better? Houston's got a way lower ARV, and that's kind of the difference. When ARVs are lower, it really doesn't matter of how big the population. A lot of people are like, don't go after big population centers. It comes down more about ARV, after repair value. Houston works because ARVs are low. Detroit works because ARVs are low. Austin, Texas doesn't work because ARVs are high. And that's a Texas example, right? Dallas ARVs are still okay. So it's really not the biggest deal in the world, right? Let's go back to example like California. San Diego, no good, right? Like it's insane around the country. And then you go like a 1.4, like let's do Boston, right? Boston, what's Boston's population, right? Boston's got a big population. Why doesn't Boston work for most people? Boston's got 689, so whatever. Washington, D.C., 707. So like their ARVs are too high, and that's the problem. And that's why some places in Massachusetts work like Western Massachusetts, because ARVs are lower. So that's one example. Like if you can have your ARV under 350, it's going to help you out. Under $350,000. So just remember that for a second, right? That's one really big factor I could say. And this comes back to one thing. And I'm going to get into this example of like Houston. I'm going to show you the teenage factor in Houston. But if like the median sales home in your market is under 350, 300, that's going to be a fine market. People are willing to take a discount on the property, sell for cash, just get rid of an ugly house that is below 200, 250 because it is a cheaper house, right? You got $1 million house in the middle of Berkeley, California, and it's run down. They're not willing to get rid of it for cash. They still want the most for it because it's a bigger asset. That's how humans work. Some people are like that. Some people aren't like that. So just understand that for a perspective. And hey, you got people that own a $20,000 mobile home in the middle of Alabama that's worth $4,000, and they're going to want the most for it, right? Just like overall, when you look at an overall statistics of people, most people, if the asset, the real estate's under 250, 300 technically too, they're willing to sell it for a discount. So just understand that, okay? And I have my top 25 virtual wholesaling markets video, right? Like a lot of them are like that. But like for most people being successful, it really comes down to that. So it's a good market or not, right? There's a lot of wholesalers, a lot of deals. ARV's lower, and a lot of people are doing well. So it's like Houston, Texas, ARV's lower. This seems like a good candidate, right? Does it have the second factor? ARVs are lower. Population's decent, right? There's a lot of deals being done there. So we're like, we go back here, right? And we're like, okay. So deals to wholesales ratios, okay, like nothing insane. So like, does it have that it factor, right? That teenage success factor? And the answer is yes. There's a ton of 18, 19, 20-year-olds I interview all the time that they make a ton of money driving for dollars and cold calling government lists, and they brag about it online that they do all these deals in Houston, okay? A lot of them. And let me show you an example. Like, so how do you find this teenage success factor? I go on Facebook and I see people posting. So this is a post. I want to keep people's names private. I was telling you this guy or gal, they closed this deal. They're bragging about it online in Houston, Texas, right? Why do people brag online? I don't know. Maybe they're selling a course or something. I don't know. He made $4,000 in Texas, right? Whatever. A lot of these people like bragging online on Facebook groups. Cool, right? Like honestly, I don't care. But I'm going to use them bragging, use it to my advantage. So this guy's saying, thank you, Lord, all the stuff. His profile picture is him flexing behind a car. Do it for intention. I don't know. Nothing against the guy or gal here, but they're flexing on the car, pain in the butt. The whole spiel. You see this all the time on Facebook groups. So you got a guy, all this stuff. $4,000 in Houston. So I'm like, okay, well, if this teen guy or gal is making money in Houston, maybe that's that it factor, right? And that's one thing. It's like, okay, well, if he's doing it, fine, right? Like, guys, you can read the whole thing. He's just trying to like do some whatever, right? And then here's another guy posted a $4,000 check, and then he had his escrow company on there in Houston, Texas for a Houston deal. He got the memo and stuff. It got a $4,000 deal. These aren't like insanely big deals, but like, here's the thing. Here's the thing you got to understand. It's like, I don't care if you're flex or not. I know that teenagers and young guys and gals, they're making money in this market, which probably means like an average person can do well, right? And that's the thing you got to understand. If like the average person or below average like skill set for wholesaling can do well in a market, it's probably a good market. So I see teenagers making money in this market. ARV's lower, bigger population, probably gonna be doing good. You don't see a ton of people bragging about San Diego like this, right? There's like 50 of these examples, right? And I've interviews with people from Houston doing well. So you got to understand that you don't see a lot of people out of Miami bragging. You don't get like 10 of these posts every single month, right? But I see a lot from there. I saw some people a lot of people like out in the city of Nebraska. I'm not going to go, talk about it, but like city of Nebraska, right? And they're bragging about this. Decent population, right? So just understand that. So like Ryan's asking here, Ryan's like, how do you find these teenagers that flex? Well, I'm going to like, these are screenshots. I legit this morning. I just made the PowerPoint this morning. I was getting some coffee. took me, not crazy amount to write this thing, but like I literally went on to Facebook. I literally went on to Google. No, I went to Facebook. I searched Houston space deal space check space, and I'm part of like all the groups on Facebook, and like these are the two first that popped up. There's like 5-10 of them, right? And like I'm protecting the names obviously, but like it's really not hard. So like, I went Knoxville, right? Knoxville check space deal, right? Like I'll go live with you guys. I'll show. I mean, we're live right now, but like I'll show you. But like people are bragging about it. Like it's pretty easy to find it. And even in my group, like people brag about checks all the time. Now, hey, it's motivational. I love it, right? But like you can see where they're doing their deals and, just kind of figure it out more or less. So like that's how I'm telling you right now, nobody talks about this because, gurus feel like it's like, above them or something, or like, it's not, they might think it's not ethical. I don't really care to the like, if people are bragging and flexing on the gram on Facebook, why don't you use that? Like a lot of people like don't like that. Some people do. I don't care. Some people roll their eyes, but like if you see all these teenagers flexing, why don't you just go steal their market, right? It's for example, it's like if you see all these teenagers flexing, like let's say that it's 1848. All these teenagers are flexing. They're finding all this gold in San Francisco. It's like, well, the adults are going to come in and say, oh, you're a kid, you got a pickaxe, you're finding it. Well, I own a mining company in Alaska. You're bragging about doing all this gold mining here. Like, well, let's go in and get the full equipment, right? And that's kind of the point I'm trying to tell you guys today. It's like, find like the small time wholesalers that are doing really well. And there's people can't keep it to themselves. Some people just can't keep it to themselves, a secret like that. They got to brag and flex and make themselves feel good and let them do it, right? And it's pretty cool. And I just say like, it works really well. So not to say anything wrong. Like we have some guys like that, like showing that they do deals and it's inspirational. It's great. I interview them. It's awesome. But like use some of that, right? And that's the honest truth. And there's always oddities out there, right? There's always that person that's bragging about something out there, but like just know that, right? So find people bragging, find people flexing sometimes for attention. Not everyone, but like some people do an inspirational post, right? Like that's something I'm talking about, like the people bragging, so search city, space deal, space check. And then people are going to they're doing their motivational post on there. Remember, if a newbie is doing a check at 123 city, it's worth considering, no guru posting or a fake guru. People can fake checks all the time, right? So like that's why I'm looking here. It's like, okay, this check's from an escrow company. It looks kind of real. People still fake things. So you want to find multiple ones. Like if you find 5 or 6 in like a month, you're like, okay, that's probably a decent area, right? You don't do the one-off thing because there's always going to be a guy doing a deal in like New York City. So, but like not a ton. So just understand that. Go use these Facebook groups as inspiration. And it's definitely something that you have to be doing. And it's definitely it's a big change. So just understand that, guys. Like it's definitely different. So how else do you find good markets, right? So that's number one, right? Like that's the number one easiest way. But like, how do we find other good markets, right? So for example, I have a top 25 markets. So in freewholesaling.com, FREE wholesaling.com, I have a video. And that video basically is my top 25 virtual wholesaling markets. Now, of course, every wholesaler is going after those markets. I made a top 25, not even close. There's thousands of great markets in the United States, but I got my top 25 and they're pretty big enough where it's like, I'm not exposing things too much. I exposed Beaumont, Texas. So it's true. And that is a big problem. So I did talk about Beaumont, Texas on there, and amazing market. But because that got hit with hurricanes and a lot of wholesalers are on there now, people are kind of on that, but there's a lot of markets. So for example, here, I made my top 25 markets on here. I'm going to give an example. One of the markets was Nashville, and then Nashville's kind of gotten a little more saturated, right? But the best markets are suburbs of decent markets. So go to my top 25 videos and go after the suburbs of that. For example, Nashville is not the best. Like it's average right now, that market. But Murfreesboro, Tennessee, which is, let me show you a map. I won't show it, but like, it's like, 20, 30 minutes. I know probably someone from Murfreesboro in here can tell me, but like, it's just like just outside of that. These wholesalers aren't going after that. They're going after Nashville, right? So they're not going off the pot of gold next to it. So actually, let me show you a map, Google Maps. So this whole wholesaling real estate industry, a lot of gurus really control a lot of it. And, and that, I think that's a problem to a point. These gurus drive me crazy, but like, all right, let's get out of Florida, for example. All right. So let me share my screen and kind of show you like where I'm telling you. So a lot of gurus will say, I'm going after this market out of it, right? So for example, like we're here, right? So if I'm searching here, like Nashville, all these gurus say go to Nashville, then everyone goes to Nashville. Here's the cool part about wholesaling influencers, right? Like they all say go to Nashville. Like this is insane, but this is absolutely true. What about the best market is never Nashville. It is Dixon, Franklin, Murfreesboro, Smithfield, Cookeville, Sparta. What guru do you know talks about Tooele, Tennessee? Nobody. Guess what happened? That means no, there's not a lot of virtual wholesalers in this market, not a lot of wholesalers in general, right? Clarksville, amazing, right? So like we can go west, like Memphis, right? Nobody talks about the markets outside of Memphis, right? And it goes down to everything, right? So I'll talk about this too. Like everyone talks about Louisville sometimes. No one talks about Radcliffe, Elizabethtown, Shelbyville, Frankfurt, Georgetown, right? Cincinnati, Dayton. But like no one talks about Cincinnati and Dayton are one of the best markets out here. But like no one talks about Middleton, Hamilton, Wilmington, Chillicothe, Jackson. Like nobody talks about that, right? The gurus all talk about Columbus, and then they'll go do Columbus, right? Everyone talks about what? Cleveland, right? No one really talks about Akron too much, or like between these two, Youngstown. I know a lot of people in Youngstown. They don't really brag about it too much, but like I'm kind of exposing it. But like no one really talks about that. Warren, like what? Worcester, Canton. It's where Tua is going to be one day. New Philadelphia, like I'm just telling you, like Pittsburgh. No one really talks about Pittsburgh too much, but like these little markets in between, like this is where the real money's at. I don't understand. Nobody talks about it. I don't like talking about too much because I don't expose any markets I'm in. But like it's killer, right? She's in Murfreesboro. It's killer, and yeah, we're gonna leave her like chilled out. But like the suburbs are a lot cheaper and they're a lot better. So I'm just going down to the example here. I get sick of it. Everyone does Buffalo, right? Or not everyone, but like no. What wholesaler? Do you guys know a wholesaler influencer, something that's big enough that talks about Erie, Pennsylvania? Nobody. I'm telling you right now, what is Erie, Pennsylvania's population, right? Let's do some research on Erie, Pennsylvania. Erie, Pennsylvania has a population of 96,000. That is a really good amount of wholesaling deals in Erie, Pennsylvania. Erie, Pennsylvania has a median home price. I'm going to expose some Erie people. They're going to be very upset with me on this one, but here's the truth. Erie, Pennsylvania has an average ARV of $153,000. Okay? 100,000 people in this city. Okay? Under 160 ARV. Ton of wholesaling real estate deals. Pennsylvania is a great state to be wholesaling at. Nobody's talking about something like this. No. So when I tell you go to Richmond, that's my number one market. That is technically a way better market than any of my top ones I've listed. But there's thousands of places like that. It is the suburbs that no one's talking about with lower ARVs. Now, there's less buyers, obviously, but there's more deals that makes up for the less buyers. Some water. And that's the truth. So many places like I say, I generally stick to states like this, like the Midwest, okay? The Southeast, like Port St. Lucie. Nobody, because I grew up on the Treasure Coast here. So like I grew up here, right? Rick was here, right? Why are you drinking? Because I got coffee, bro. I got coffee. It's decaf, but I got coffee. I need something warm when I'm speaking for hours. But born in Port St. Not born in Port St. Lucie, but the thing is, everyone went after Miami, Broward, Palm Beach, and then they went to Orlando. They skipped Port St. Lucie. Port St. Lucie has a population, I think, over 100,000, right? What's Port St. Lucie's population? Hold on. PSL. Port St. Lucie is that's where I am at. 195,000. Okay. 195,000 people legit. I'm telling you right now. They did Miami, Palm Beach, skip Port St. Lucie, got 200,000 people with a relatively low ARV and went straight to Orlando. They ignore a big population because no gurus ever talked about it. Now, some did, obviously, but like they're all hiding. And that is the honest truth. So just understand that, guys. It drives me crazy. And then Brandon says, Erie doesn't give you a wholesale. Brandon, how many real estate wholesaling deals have you done in Erie? I'm very curious. Berks County. I kind of been talking about that lately. No one used to talk about Berks County. Amazing one. Okay. Oh, Erie doesn't give out. There's a ton of real estate deals, and I would beg to differ with you here. Let me know how many wholesaling deals you've done there. But yeah. So Brandon's done none. So Brandon, I don't want to call you out, but like, why are you going to say there's not a lot of wholesale fees if you've never wholesaled there? I've wholesale markets where the average ARV is 50 grand, and my average wholesale deal is 10K. That's pretty good. Okay. I'm telling you right now. Oh, wait, Tennessee, what now? Guys, I've never drank in my life. I don't drink. So FYI, I did not do that on a live either. But what I'm trying to tell you guys is you guys, like, there's no magic market. You have to find it. And if I go out and tell you a market, I have tens of thousands of people that are going to go after that market. And then that's not going to be a good market, right? I got to be careful with the following I have. I don't have this crazy ego. I think I'm like the biggest guy ever, but like, we have almost 52,000 people in the wholesaling group. If I tell all those people to go after this market, this is a good market, like Erie's probably destroyed right now. That's why I don't like talking, because it's destroyed. Everyone's going to be going after that. And that's it. So like, Jason's like, what about New Jersey? Look at the ARVs there and figure it out from there, right? And that's the way you have to look at things. So I'm just going down a map and just trying to help you out and show you. Let me know if this is helpful for you guys. But like, this is where my mind goes, and this is how I find my best markets. I'm not listing some of my best markets. It's like an Erie, but it's not Erie, I promise you. Buffalo's okay. Rochester's okay. But like, these markets in between are amazing, right? And like, all right, let's go to the Southeast, right? Let's go back here. All right, let's do I love Fayetteville, right? No one used to ever talk about Fayetteville. Until I was actually the first influencer in wholesaling to be talking about Fayetteville more than once about how it's a decent real estate wholesaling market. Couple, but like not insane. I was one of the first ones too. And Fayetteville is one that no one, like, at a big population center, no one really talked about it too much. Folks, like, if you want to see where there are army bases, military bases. So I'm going to show you military bases with population. This is I'll give you another secret, right? Fayetteville used to have I'm pretty sure Fayetteville has a big army base, right? And you just look at like markets around there, they do really well. So like, that's how I figured out Fayetteville. I looked at army bases. Obviously, I knew about Fayetteville from one of the greatest rappers ever, Cold World. I call Fayetteville Cold World because it is Cold World. I think his parents were in the mill. I think it's something like that. I don't quote me on that. I met J. Cole once. I'm not gonna get in that story, but love Cold World. It'll destroy anyone on a feature. But I'm telling you, like, that's how I figured out where it was, right? And got Fort Bragg on here, like, not like huge military town, but like Fayetteville's got like that going on. So that's another really good. People are coming in and out, right? There's some industry going on. So like, these are big. Fort Bragg's like one of the biggest ones. It's west of Fayetteville, but like, that's where a lot of the Fayetteville people, there's 23,000 military families there, right? And I'm not telling you to go after military families for wholesaling, but like, a lot of people, but like, it makes like a city out of nothing, and like not like insanely like big population centers. A lot of renters, right? Fort Campbell, outside of wherever it's at, Fort Hood, like outside of like these cities, like, where's Fort Benning, like around there, So like, I searched Fort Benning and like something outside of there. So it's by Columbus, right? That's probably a pretty decent. Is that where the I think the U.S. I can't say that word. It's SNIP training, R space E training. I think that's where the official Army one, like the big, like really cool one. So shout out to them. But I think that's where they train. And like that's a big one too. We got some good ones here, Air Force Base, all this stuff. Even my market, like Port St. Lucie great. Fort Pierce. Fort Pierce used to be where the official Navy SEAL training used to be in Fort Pierce, Florida, which is right next to Port St. Lucie. That's where the original SEALs, actually the National Navy SEAL Museum isn't still in Fort Pierce, where the old training center is. Now, I'm not, but guess what? One of the best wholesaling markets, the one I'm in, is right there. That's where I grew up. So that's just another tip I can give to you guys about like how to find really good markets that nobody talks about. But like secrets like that is like stuff that no one likes talking about at all. But like it's really like it's insane. There's a lot of PSL wholesalers here. Jesus. Just recorded a video of another deal I did there today. But woo! I'm telling you, so like it's hit the BRAC list. BRAC list of military relocating has thousands of I don't know much about that. Shout out to my active duty service people out here, but like I know like Tampa has an Air Force base, not Air Force base, a military base. It might be Air Force. I'm not too sure. I know they have a base. I've been there a couple times, but I'm telling you, like that, but that doesn't mean that doesn't make Tampa like the best market ever, right? Because the ARV is too high. But this just makes it sound like this makes me, trying to understand for you guys, like military cities, like in the United States, like what makes a good market or not. And there's no presentation, whatever I get to, but like this is how like you figure it out, and it works really well, ladies and gentlemen. So here's a little graphic I get. Like there's things around there, but like here's a quick graphic you can like sort of use, how to find a good virtual wholesaling market, right? I avoid the big metro market areas with big ARVs. I made this like I think 2 years ago, so like I'm trying to like switch a little more, but it's really valuable. I think find markets where other wholesalers virtually do deals, right? Don't reinvent the wheel, right? Look at people bragging. 2 to 400,000 population is decent. Like you go above it, but the ARV's got to be decent. But like the small to medium ones are amazing. I think in today's times, you can go even lower than that with population wise. Make sure there's some cash buyers there. You can use list source hacks, metro markets with low rents, small markets with larger rents. These are just little tips I can give to you. They're going to help you out and give you success in wholesaling. So just understanding that, guys, it's going to give you the success that you need. So that's honestly it. So like use the Facebook hack too. Let me show you so let's break down how to find the best zip codes, right? Let me show you how to find the best zip codes for wholesaling real estate. So let's say I do Erie, Pennsylvania, right? Like that's my market I want. Okay. Erie, Pennsylvania. That's what I've chosen, right? So if I chose Erie, Pennsylvania, and I want to find the best zip codes, how am I going to figure it out? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my list source hack, which we have at freewholesaling.com. It's in the module there, so check that out. But also look up where wholesalers are posting deals and then find out actively where these cash buyers are seeking deals. So if I go to Erie, Pennsylvania, and I go like kind of the Pennsylvania or Western Pennsylvania, like wholesaling groups or the real estate investing groups, hey, I'm going to talk to cash buyers and say, hey, where are you looking to buy? Like, oh, this is like a really hot area. This is one we want. You don't have to do your own research. The cash buyer will tell you because they've already done the research, right? And it works really well when you're in a new market, right? So I always look up Facebook groups and see where a lot of wholesalers are. So like, for example, Port St. Lucie's got like 10, 12, it might actually do my entire market, right? Probably 25, 30 zip codes I wholesale in, right? Like ish, my local market, right? The majority of my $75,000 plus deals are done on 3 zip codes. 3. Okay. Doing the math, that's less than 10, 15, less than 20%. And that's a lot less, right? What's 3? 5%, right? 3 divided by 15, right? Let's do, that's 20%. Wait, I have like 30. Yeah, 10%. So 10% of all the zip codes have most of the deals. This is the 80-20 rule, right? Where 80% of your results are going to be from 20% of your actions. And just understand, if you are going after this, you can understand pretty quick where the hot zips are, and that's going to give you a lot of really good results. So if I can go after Facebook group and see where a lot of wholesalers are doing deals, where they're posting. So I look at the Erie people posting real estate wholesaling deals in Erie, Pennsylvania. I'm going to figure out what some of the best little pockets in there. And it's going to help you out a lot. So I'll go to Facebook here and just kind of show you Erie, Erie, Erie cash buyer. I'm gonna search Erie cash. Oops, cash buyer. Right, and I'm going here. You know, where is it? I'm just trying to find a group really quick. Okay, here's a small little group I found. Let's see here. All right, bet. All right, so let me show you this. So here is a group I just I am like this is live, right? It is 5:44 p.m. right now. So like this is a live video, okay? And so I'm literally just doing this live. So I don't know what's gonna pop up on my thing. So just FYI for everyone. But like I searched here, Erie like cash buyer, and the Erie, Bedford, Whiteford, Erie, Ida, Petersburg, Monroe homes for public sale or rent, or whatever, right? So I'm just gonna go to like a lot of these wholesalers, right? Coming soon. It's probably not a good one, but like I'm gonna search like cash buyer and just figure it out really quick. So I'm gonna search cash buyer. Search. So this could fail miserably. I have no idea, but I'm just doing it. You know, like I'm just taking action. That's where you find it out. So like for example, like Justin Ostrom, any cash buyers are looking for properties, DM me, right? Needed. I have a cash buyer. Blah 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 blah. We buy mortgages for cash and kind of stupid stuff. Hoel call to receive a offer. So for example, I'm going to look at Ricky Howell. He looks like a wholesaler. Nothing bad with him, but like, let me see he's posting any deals. So he posted a deal here. Give us a call. I don't know the address there. Let's see. He's not posting any deals right now. So never mind. We're going to skip him here. But I'm just going to keep going on like cash deals. So here's, no. Cool. So I'm just going to try to find people listing it. So green class stagers, no. Here's another one. I'm just going to look for wholesalers that are posting their deals. This guy's in Toledo. So we'll do another one. But like, you just got to keep going in groups and looking. I'll go to like a big wholesaling group and search. Erie might not even pop up because not a lot of wholesalers are talking about it. But like I go to Houston and I can find people addressing and use those zip codes. And then that's probably the best thing you can do. So just FYI there. So let's see. Anything else on this side here? No, that's pretty much it on the slides there. But like, I want to tell you guys, like, going after these lists that like are kind of outside areas that no one's talking about. That's going to be where a lot of the success is going to be. So we need the cheat sheet. So it is under the module of finding the best virtual wholesaling deal. It's kind of like it's like at the end of it, and then I'll show you how to use list source on there. Kind of find the zip code hack on there. So I'll leave some for freewholesaling.com for you guys to be going after, but y'all should be going after free wholesaling. So yeah, if you want to see the PowerPoint slides, I don't post them. They're in the video. So pause them, take notes, screenshot. They're always going to be here. I back up all the lives and videos. So if, it's ever get taken down or whatever, I always can repost it or, switch it up, or the info's not lost forever. Right. And that's so I can, let's say, social media wants to take down all of my videos forever, right? I haven't backed up where I just make my own website and post it for you guys, so the information's not lost. So like, don't worry about that. Gurus are they're very slick. So just understand, guys, that the best markets are the ones that no one's talking about. And I've been saying it like 4 times in a row, like a million. I know a lot of people are getting sick of it, but it's the ones that no one's talking about. The ones that you're figuring out with the ARVs lower, decent population, probably over 50K for the city or county. Just be going after it. And there's one in Indiana I'm not going to talk about, but like it's outside Indianapolis. Indianapolis is actually a really good market, but like it's in between like another metro. It's like kind of big, like 150 population. No one talks about it, right? And let me figure out, like, I'm actually curious how many cities in USA over 100,000. There is currently 317 cities. Okay, I was actually wrong. Not that. Actually, you know what? If we do over 50, then yes. So let me do a quick statistic for you guys here. There is 317 cities with a population over 100,000 people living in the city. Erie's not even in that, right? Let's do, can we do 50? 50,000. There are 780 cities with a population over 50,000. Okay. That's only grown. Okay. So I would say, if let's say we do 30,000, right? That's over 1,000. There's thousands of markets. Okay. Thousands. So many markets. Okay. Over that. So even if like you don't even know what you're doing, you can do spreadsheets of populations and then median sales prices. And look at actually, let me see if I can find that spreadsheet for you so you guys have a link to it. But like a spreadsheet, data of median home prices and populations for cities. I'm gonna try to find this for you guys. If I go to census.gov, it actually might be on here. I don't know if it'll, but this is I'll go to data here. Housing data sets. 2019. No. Let me see if I found a table. You guys can you guys are smart enough, right? Let me look at a data table. So there's like one right here. The average sales price of new manufactured houses. Like, I'm not gonna break that down too much, but like, let me find one more for you guys. There's one where you can download it. City data. I think this is the one. So I'll do Alabama. So yeah, let's do this. Let me show you the link to here, and we'll just play around with this, and then I'm gonna get in some Q&A. But like, I'm just trying to show you like where to find the best market. So let's play around with this really quick, just so you guys can figure it out. So I'm going to go to like www.city-data.com. Okay. And we're just going to go around town and sort of look, right? Because not every market's going to be good. Like, all right, let me do one bad market so you know which one's a bad one. Let's do Boca Raton, Florida. Boca Raton, Florida has a population of 98,000. Oh, that's a good deal. Boca Raton median home price is 546,000. So that is a no, right? And that is kind of the point I'm trying to show you guys. You got to have the three things: ARV, population. Okay, ARV and population are pretty much the two things. And then three is if you can find wholesalers doing deals there. Not a must, right? But like, honestly, that's what I'm going to do. So let's go to city-data.com. Let's sort of look at some data here. I'm a data nerd, so I like this stuff. So let's do it by state, right? I do states, schools, all this stuff, right? So let's go to cities. Let's do, they have interactive maps too, which are kind of cool. If you get really into stuff, assessments. Does assessments work? Let's do Indiana. So you kind of got these three areas, right? Marion County. No, okay, we're not doing that. We're just going to do cities. So let's do cities, and let's do, what's a decent one, right? North Carolina. I like North Carolina. So we have residents here, right? There's a lot of like statistics, housing unit changes. You get really complicated with this stuff, right? Get really complicated. I don't think they have property values, but you can find something that's like that, right? Median household pricehold income. So I don't care about that per se, but I care more about, what is it? Average rent. No. Let's see here. Hold on. Living costs. House built. It's a lot of Jesus. There's a lot of data here. Let's just do average income. No. Median household income. That's probably gonna be your best one that you can like do data sets on. But like this website, like you can do a lot of crazy stuff with it. So like I'm doing North Carolina. Okay, so let's do North Carolina just like so we can like statistically look, right? I'm gonna go here. I can go bigger cities. I'm gonna go to all cities, right? I'm gonna go by population, click that, right? So we got these cities, right? So if I want to go after anything under 75, so I got Gastonia, Jacksonville. Nobody talks about like everyone talks about Winston-Salem, Durham, right? Nobody talks about Jackson. I talk about Jacksonville, Rocky Mount, Burlington, Wilson, Apex, Hickory, Wake Forest, yeah. But like, let's do Goldsboro, North Carolina. So I do Goldsboro, North Carolina, and I just search the median home price. Median home price is 192, which is decent. What's Goldsboro County? What county are they in? They are in Wayne County, North Carolina. So I'm going to do Wayne County, North Carolina population. Wayne is 123,000 for the county. Amazing, right? And then we're going to go after the median home price. Wayne County, North Carolina, 211, which is a little higher than I like, but not too bad. But hey, not bad, right? So I'm just telling you, like that could be a jackpot market, right? The thing is, you have to just be looking at stats and being a little weird about it, but like, it's crazy. But like the best markets out here are stuff like that. Like who talks about Goldsboro or Wayne County, North Carolina? Nobody, right? And that's the honest truth. You got to be looking at. No one's talking about these markets. No one's wholesaling at these markets. Nobody, right? And I feel like I have a duty to show you guys that like it's not all saturated out here. Go after where no one else is going. Go to a pond that no one's fishing in those type of ponds, okay? And the faster that you realize that for virtual wholesaling, you're good to go. You know, everyone complains, oh, I don't want somebody from out of the country to be wholesaling in my local market. Well, fine. Go to like we're not. I swear, I got people watching me from Nigeria, Europe, all over Africa, all over Asia, mostly all the continents. South America, I got Brazil in the house. Go after Goldsboro, North Carolina. You're not going to upset most wholesalers because no one's in those markets really. So like there's some, right? But just letting you know, like, hey. So that's one thing. I feel like everyone goes after like the big markets. So I'm going to do like I talk to people one-on-one. Oh, I want to go after Dallas. I'm like, why? Like, why are you going after Dallas, bro? Like, I just, I like the Cowboys. I like everyone goes like gravitates to Dallas. Go after like Plano, like go after a little like outside of there, like a suburb of that. And it's going to help you out. So like, I'm going to give one last time. I'm going to get in the one-on-one, but like, it drives me crazy when these people like complain to me about this. So like, I'm going to do one more for my Texas people because Texas is huge. But like, all right, let's do U.S. states. And I've just literally looked. I don't know any of this stuff, but like, let's do Texas, right? Honestly, I click just United States. Screw it. Let's do the United States, right? And you can go through here and do all this stuff. Actually, no, we're not getting the. Let's just do Texas, whatever. Oops. All right, so let's do cities in Texas, whatever. Cities, Texas. Okay. I'm going to do all cities, population, and like obviously goes by here, right? We're going to keep going down here. We're going to go under 100. We got Tyler, Texas, Allen, Texas, Mission, Longview, Bryan, Baytown, Missouri City. Let's do Missouri. Actually, I've heard Missouri City is actually pretty good. But like Pearland, San Angelo. Let's do San Angelo. Okay, where's San Angelo? San Angelo is probably a suburb of something. Let's do San Angelo is kind of, it's in between really nowhere. I mean, it's kind of east of Waco, but like no one really, it's kind of by Abilene, but it's kind of like Let me show you. It's in its own little thing. Population of 100,000, probably bigger, but like it's like it's got 100,000 and like nobody's talking about this, right? You talk about Armiro. I know that's in Spanish, but I'm definitely butchering it. Amarillo, whatever. Lubbock, Texas, Midland, Odessa, right? But like no one's talking about this like San Angelo region of Texas, like right? No, nobody's talking about this, right? I just think it's funny. And the population's decent, right? So if I go back here and look up San Angelo, big population, and I'm going to search their county, right? San Angelo's county is Tom Green County. So population of 119. So I'm going to do Tom Green County, and I'm going to look up their median home price. And Zillow is telling me, all right, let's just San Angelo, 179. Come on. Killer market I just found for you guys right there. San Angelo. Obviously, Mason's in San Angelo, but like not a lot of people. Okay. Not a lot of like, I get it, Mason. Sorry, Mason. If I just exposed your market. Actually, I'm going to be quieter there. Gerveria is on there. That's correct. But like, I guess I'm not going after that market, but like I can find a million of these hot markets for you guys.